What is the typical woman's desired duration of sex? What the research says. Occasionally, you might hear jokes about how long someone lasts in bed, usually directed at men. However, the question of how long sex lasts for women is difficult because it involves many presumptions regarding the acts that constitute a sexual encounter, the significance of orgasms, and the actual functioning of orgasms in women. How long a woman stays in bed on average? According to a study from 2020, it takes women 13.41 minutes on average to experience orgasm during sex with men. Notably, they frequently called for sexual acts other than simple penis and vagina contact. There is, however, no standard length of time a woman lasts in bed. People with vulvas have a much shorter refractory period, also known as the recovery time between orgasms, which allows them to have multiple orgasms in a single sexual session, in contrast to people with penises who typically can only have one orgasm, coinciding with ejaculation, per sexual session. This means that sex between two people who have vulvas can last as long as they both want it to. Additionally, sex need not always end in an orgasm. Despite how common it is for people to attempt to measure sexual experiences based on finishing with an orgasm, a complete sexual experience doesn't require any orgasms at all. Instead, it can be satisfying to reach orgasm during sex. According to the same study, 17% of women had never experienced an orgasm. How long women desire sex to last? There is no set amount of time that sex should last for women who find it satisfying. Women want sexual activity to last, on average, 25 minutes and 51 seconds, according to an unofficial survey of 3,836 people, even though the majority of their encounters last between 16 and 17 minutes. However, sex therapists interviewed for a study that was published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine claim that the ideal length of a vaginal encounter is between 7 and 13 minutes. Too short is between 1 and 2 minutes, adequate is between 3 and 7 minutes, and too long is between 10 and 30 minutes. However, anything between 3 and 13 minutes is regarded as typical. Even though surveys and studies are great tools, they don't represent everyone's experiences. Asking a woman how long you want the relationship to last is the best way to find out. Research on women's sexual experiences has a problem. After observing couples having sex in a lab setting, William Masters and Virginia Johnson described the human sexual response cycle in the 1960s. Excitation, plateau, orgasm, and resolution are the 4 stages of a person's sexual response, according to this model, which also claims that sex always proceeds in this general sequence. Many clinical studies use the intravaginal ejaculation latency time, IELT, which is used to define sex and measure duration in addition to the Masters and Johnson sexual response model. The IELT begins when the penis enters the vagina and ends when a person with a penis ejaculates. One 2005 study that looked at the IELT of 500 couples discovered that sex lasts an average of 5.4 minutes. These surveys and studies, however, are constrained in their applicability for comprehending the full range of sexual experiences due to their emphasis on orgasms and a P&V sexual experience. Most women are unable to experience orgasms solely from P&V sex. Thus, basing sex measurement on the duration of the encounter falls short of adequately accounting for women's orgasms or pleasure. According to sex therapist Camille Lewis, AMFT, we do a lot of assumption and shame around an imaginary standard. Much of what is portrayed in popular media, according to research, is heterosex that ends when the person with a penis ejaculates. Or it's this really hot, rip your clothes off in the moment experience where you both orgasm at the same time. Many people think that after an orgasm, a person with a penis has finished their entire sexual experience. This rule is not only out of date, but it is also false. We miss out on the possibility sex holds when we assume it follows a set pattern. A 2012 study found that couples who engage in non-P&V sex, such as oral sex, kissing, and oral sex, report that their sexual experience lasts longer. According to doctor and relationship expert Alexandra Stockwell, MD, the need to establish a standard amount of time for sex demonstrates how the Masters and Johnson study continues to influence society consciously and subconsciously. A whole world of sexual experiences becomes available when you broaden the definition of sex. Why orgasms aren't a reliable indicator of sex. Contrary to popular belief, There isn't a formula you can tuck into your wallet and carry with you to determine how long it takes a woman to orgasm. The number of orgasms a woman can experience and the different ways she can experience them, vaginal, clitoral, and anal, depend greatly on the individual woman. The kind of sexual acts she performs, and how intently her partner is focused on her pleasure. P&V intercourse is frequently emphasized as the main sex act, which can put pressure on women to have an orgasm this way even though it's not a guaranteed method. A woman might feel guilty or blame herself if the sexual experience ends abruptly because she didn't reach orgasm before her male partner. In response to the norms we try to fit into, naturopathic physician Jordan Wiggins, North Dakota, tells MBG that many of her patients inquire, "Is something wrong with me?" According to Stockwell, the length of time it takes a woman to experience orgasm relates to her capacity to relax and receive and her partner's capacity to bring attention and well-calibrated contact. Women who have a hard time getting an orgasm are perfectly normal, and women who take longer to get an orgasm aren't taking too long. Whatever a woman experiences, Stockwell asserts that more is always possible, and it's normal wherever you are. What factors may impact how long sex lasts? How long sex lasts depends on our definition of sex as well as preferences, circumstances, and physical health. Every vulva changes as a result of menstruation, childbirth, and life in general, according to Wiggins. You cannot automatically assume that a strategy that worked for you the last time, with a different partner, or 20 years ago will always work. That's not a bad thing. It implies that you have the freedom to change your mind, do things differently, and constantly improve both as a person and in your relationship. Understanding the rhythm of both of their bodies is crucial, according to Stockwell. A more fulfilling sexual encounter can be had by staying present and paying attention to both your own and your partner's bodies. Open a discussion with your partner about your definitions of sex and when you orgasm in a way that comes from solution finding, advises Wiggins, if you want to make sex last longer or learn how to come faster. As you create a mindful sexual experience you can both enjoy, open communication is crucial. You can continually define and redefine your sexual experience as you alter your perspective on sex and enter a sexual encounter knowing there isn't one substandard for you or your partner, according to Lewis. We can now decide how long we want the sexual encounter to last. The final result. A woman's sexual experience can last for however long she wants, can, and feels prepared for. Allowing yourself the compassion to be exploratory, advises Lewis. Each individual, each relationship, and each sexual experience are unique. Consider experimenting with solo pleasure if you're curious about what makes your body feel good outside of partnered sex. You'll be less worried about how long it's taking and more able to enjoy the journey as you become more attuned to your body and sexuality. There is no set time frame for how long sex should last. The word should is inappropriate in the bedroom. Sex is a time to enjoy yourself or with a partner, and it lasts for however long that is. Forget the time limits.